Hey guys, long time no talk. I know it's been about a month since my last video and I decided to go ahead and upload again. Life kind of happened a little bit this month. I am back and I'm better. Life had been kicking my ass for a little bit, but I am back and I'm ready to upload great content that I am proud of and I'm excited back on YouTube. The elephant in the room, my hair is now blonde with lots of highlights and streaks through it. I kind of love it, and it's an adjustment. And yes, these are contacts. I can link where I got them down below in the description box if you're interested in getting these contacts. I love them a lot. They're just fun and I like to switch things up and be different. Today I am going to be doing a story time video. I love watching story times on YouTube. I do have a couple life stories that have happened to me. Super crazy experiences from high school and in college. I think that they could be pretty entertaining. Today's storytime video is going to be about the time that I tripped on acid, also known as LSD. I experienced this in high school and it was my first trip, and it was something that I still think about to this day in college and reflect on how it went down, and it was extremely crazy. So I thought that I would share that. I still reflect on this because it was a crazy experience. So I thought, what better story time than to talk about the time I tripped on acid. It would be a great video to film and be a little bit entertaining. So if you're interested in seeing and hearing about the time I tripped on acid, keep watching. So I grew up in Charlotte, North Carolina, south in a Bible Belt kind of state. There was a lot of fun to be had here. It was country, but I lived in Charlotte, so it was country and city, so I got a good mix of every kind of environment when it came to living. I grew up in the suburbs, so I grew up in an area called South Charlotte, close to the Lake Wiley. So during high school, we used to do things like, you know, go to the lake and get high, stuff like that. Back in high school, there was a trend era in high school where acid was extremely common in my area. People had been tripping on acid, and I at the time only had smoked weed, so I hadn't experienced anything else before. A psychedelic drug, which it is a hallucinogen. If you don't know what acid is, it's like a tab and you place it on your tongue, and it has like chemicals in it that cause a hallucinogen effect kind of high, and it makes you see colors and see things differently than how they actually are in reality. So at the time, my best friend, I'm going to call my best friend Rebecca, the girl who sings "It's Friday." That's not that bitch. Okay, I'm an annoying bitch. Rebecca at the time had already tripped on acid first, so she had explained it to me, and she was like,
Kenasia tripped on acid and it's so fun. Such a good time, and you see these colors and you see things differently and blase.
we should trip on acid. I at the time was very skeptical because I am a researcher. I like to research anything that I put into my body. Went crazy when it came to researching LSD at the time. I saw people that experienced good trips and bad trips, and it was all about your headspace at the time. I thought that I was a stable bitch. In reality, I learned that wasn't the case, and you'll see later on how that shit went. So I decided that I was going to take LSD with my friend Rebecca. Bought LSD from somebody and we were on a trip. So at the time, her dad had went out of town. He would always go out of town during high school, and it was common for him to go out of town, and when he went out of town, we would just turn up and go crazy and like just have a good time and do crazy stuff and turn up. And we had like a little kickback at her dad's house. People came there and they had all just smoked, and we mentioned that we were going to be tripping on acid that night. They thought that we were crazy, and they said that only white people do LSD, which is not true. There are a lot of people who do LSD. Stay woke. Nothing is just strictly for one race. Screw racial fucking standards and stereotypes. Fuck that shit. We put the tabs on our tongue and left them on for about, I don't even remember the time period keep it on, but we left the tab on there. And at first I wasn't feeling anything. Rebecca at the time was feeling shit, and she had started like kind of tripping, and she was being really weird and laughing and stuff, and I was like, oh my god, you're crazy, da, 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 da. It was so funny at the time. And then I started to trip bitch. When I started to trip, I was seeing colorful things. Things were like moving and soft, and everything had a texture, smooth and like cartoon like. It was one of the weirdest things that I had ever seen. The thing about LSD is the trip lasts about 10 to 12 hours. Long time. I took the tabs at nighttime, so you can see we were tripping throughout the whole night, and I didn't really enjoy it because I like to sleep. Bitch, I like to fucking sleep, and on LSD it was so fucking hard to sleep because it's such an upper, and you just, when it came to tripping, I was seeing texture, so everything was smooth and everything was just like wavy, and it's the only way that I can explain it. Rebecca at the time was kind of dark, so her room was kind of like depressing in a way, and decided that I was just gonna go sleep and try to sleep by myself while she was out in the living room. And when I did decide to do that, I went to her room and tried to go to sleep, and she had paintings on her wall that she had drawn. We were seniors in high school, so she had painted them and they were just plastered all on her wall. And I remember at the time thinking these pictures are creepy as fuck, like they were like coming to life, and that like I was seeing these people in real life. Like the shit was fucking ridiculous, that I was like feeling like I was seeing like the devil or somebody. Like it was just too much at the time, too much. And time goes on and we're tripping and hours are going by, and I'm noticing that I'm catching the clock every hour on the hour. So I'm feeling every single hour of my trip at the time, and it was just so intense at the time. I didn't understand it. I just wanted to go to sleep. Like the whole night I just wanted to go to sleep. We start watching Ridiculousness, and when we watched Ridiculousness, I remembered Rob Dyrdek's face looking like a hamster. Like, people on the TV, Chanel West Coast, Rob Dyrdek, I don't even know what the fuck the black guy's name is, and I probably should. His name is Steve-O or something like that. Steve-O, if you know what his name is. And they just looked like gerbils, like hamster people. And I remember telling Rebecca, like, they look like fucking gerbils and hamster people. And she was like, bitch, you are so crazy. I just saw hamsters. And flash forward, you know, time goes on. After I had tripped on LSD, I started feeling side effects of doing LSD. My hands would vibrate, so I would touch something and I would feel every single vibration. That drug made me like feel so connected to like senses and my sensory. Weird. So like I'd be driving and my hands would vibrate, or I would touch something and I would vibrate, and it would linger on into my hands for a little bit after I touched it. After that, my highs were pretty much still the same. It didn't change me smoking. Now, would I ever trip on LSD again? I have considered it. I've researched a little bit on LSD, and it really is all about your mind at the time and your headspace. And now that I'm older, maybe I'd be able to have a better trip. At the time, if you would have asked me, the answer would have been no. And that is the story about the time that I tripped on LSD. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up, like and subscribe, and the bell down below. Click that and turn on your notifications to see more of my content. If you haven't already, follow me on my social media. I will also link that down below. Look forward to seeing you guys in my next video. Bye.